Okay, what's good? I'm giving you my top 3 shoulder exercises. I've been doing shoulders as my main exercise for probably the last like 7 years, and I've tried everything. So I'm gonna give you my top 3. We're gonna do the raw uncut version, and we're gonna start with some shoulder press. So basically, I set it up very similar to anybody else, but it's all about making sure that we get the stretch and then the mind muscle connection on it. All the stuff that everyone's always talking about, but we'll go through this. We'll do about like 1 set, and then we'll just get through the other 2 ones really quickly. But once again, like, just to show my credentials, it looks pretty 3D today, hey? Like, I don't work on a lot of rear delts as much, but it's working its way out. Front delts are obviously a little bit overdeveloped, but this has been the moneymaker. If I have that one clip of me from like a year ago that has gotten me like a lot of followers, it's because of my shoulders. It's not really anything else. So we're gonna start with, let's go just 55s and I'll show you the form. So obviously, like, getting the bench in this upright position is number 1. We don't want to be like on an angle or anything like that with an incline press. Pushing it up to that position and then making sure that not that I'm in like this T position, but more of like a Y. And that's just going to keep my shoulders a little bit safer and put less strain on them. The last thing we want is, if we're going to go heavy with an incline or with a shoulder press, is that we mess up our shoulders, because then we can't get bigger shoulders. We'd have to rest. It's all about that progressive overload safely. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is get into that position, hold it up here, and as you can see, I'm not going down this way. I can even feel the strain there, but I'm going down in this angle where my elbows are going a little bit forward, really down into the stretch, almost where the dumbbells almost hit my shoulders, and I'm back up to that position. Heavy. So usually I'll go like 6 to 8 reps, 3 to 4 sets, simple, but it's all about form. Slow eccentric on the way down, so I feel it in that front delt, a little bit of side delt, and then I'm back up. I'm gonna do 2 more for you guys. Slow down, up, and that was better. I was talking halfway through. All we're doing is hitting that front delt, and I just feel this, the stretch on it so much when I'm down in this position and I gotta hold it. I try to aim for around like 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. Eccentric is where that muscle tearing happens. And if we can rock that as much as possible, then we're gonna build muscle a lot quicker. Obviously gotta make sure we recover. But once you get to a point where you're like really well trained, it's not like 48, 72 hours when your muscle recovers, it's more like 24. And that's the point where I'm at, where I can do shoulder stuff consistently, like not back-to-back days, but a lot of days throughout the week, and still build on more muscle. I think that's it for this one. You got any questions for me?
Can you just explain what eccentric to most people?
Yeah, 100%. So if I'm pushing up away from my body, a lot of times that's an eccentric movement, especially in the front plane of motion. So anything that I'm pulling towards me using my back muscles, that's concentric, but that's on the back plane of motion. So anything in the front away from my body, a push movement, concentric. Anything that I'm pulling towards myself in the front plane, eccentric. So if I'm with my shoulders here and I'm pushing up away from me, concentric, and eccentric is anything that's coming back towards my body. Eccentric is where you make the muscle gains, for the most part. And another key point is, like, when I push it up, I want to try and be as explosive as possible. Not only does that help with, if say you're an athlete, concentric movements, how you move on the field, on the court. So if I can make that really fast, that will just make me that much quicker in my sport, whatever it may be. But also that quick eccentric also helps with muscle building, because I'm activating the muscles a lot quicker, and the motor recruitment just enlarges. Motor recruitment's the muscle fibers, the nerves sending from my brain to my muscle, recruiting more muscles. Obviously that would turn into a bigger muscle eventually. So this next one, I love to use a cable, because with a cable, you get something that you don't get with dumbbells if you're doing lateral raises, is tension all the way through the movement. So like if I have a dumbbell and I'm doing lateral raises, if it's way up here, I'm gonna feel a lot of tension in my shoulder, but way down here, the gravity's pulling it to the ground, and my shoulder's not having any tension. But if the weight's coming from the cable on this side, and I'm holding it down here, I'm still gonna have tension on that shoulder. So that's why I love to incorporate one of these for like second movements. The way I'd set it up is honestly around like knee height, right around there. And what this allows me to do is that if I have it across my body, it's still going down, but I'm gonna feel a really good stretch across my shoulder here. So all I would need an attachment though too. Give me 1 second. So we got the attachment here. Usually you wanna go with this type of grip. Any other grip still can work, but this one, you have the best chance of making sure that you get the stretch and your only limiting factor is your grip. So if you have really bad grip, what I recommend is getting one of those ones that you put your arm in like this, but then you don't have much control over the cable. So as we get into this position, I'm gonna hold it here, and first thing I wanna do is try and feel that stretch across my body. I don't want to be turning like this, then I'm not gonna feel it at all. It's more like a lat stretch at this point. So I'm gonna be as straight as possible, let that arm go across. You can even see the striations of the stretch right from the jump. Hand on hip, like I'm a knight drawing a sword, and all I'm gonna do is lead with my elbow. Keep it as simple as that, lead with elbow, and then fully extend out. That simple, because as soon as I go back down, I'm gonna feel that stretch, and that's the thing too, I don't wanna end here and then keep going. I wanna make sure that it's at a stretch each time I do a rep. So lead with elbow, extend out with that arm. Now I'm gonna feel it right on that mid delt as well as that front delt, and then I'm back down. Feel the stretch, lead with elbow, extend, back down. Let's get one more in. Elbow, up, back down. I just did 4 reps and I'm already feeling like a lot of tension in the side delt, and that's where we're trying to aim it. Once again, like tension all the way through that range of motion is what's gonna build more of that 3D volume with the delt.
Would you say it's more important for them to like focus on the slow up, or same thing, slow down?
Yeah, same thing as the shoulder press over there. So like eccentric, concentric. Once again, as soon as it's coming back to me with a plane of motion that's in front of my body or side, that's eccentric. So I want to make sure that I'm going slow on the way down. On the way up, I would recommend going slow on this one too, because there's a little bit more form involved. Like if I go really fast, I'm gonna try and pull with my wrist. And that's the last thing I wanna do. I wanna make sure that it's with my elbow and then I extend out. And a lot of times you just gotta go a little bit slower to start. On the way down, slow, and you can really feel the tension there until you get all the way back down. Okay, Ben, back from commercial break. Basically all we're gonna do now is our last shoulder exercise. It might be a little bit different than what you think. Like we hit the front delts with our shoulder press, mainly hit the side delts with that cable sword draw. Now we gotta hit some rear delts. And you could do a rear delt machine on like, you know that machine one where you're just rocking back like this?
Chest fly?
Yeah, like a reverse chest fly, something like that, right? But basically, I love doing face pulls. And what I recommend with this piece too is that it's also building a little bit more volume in your back, a little bit more thickness. So it's like you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, why not do it, right? Way I set it up, usually around belly button height, keep it a little bit simple. But the thing is, you gotta make sure, because we're gonna go relatively heavy with this, you gotta have a really stable stance when you're here. You can go stagger like this, or here. Just know that I'm gonna be leaning back, because when I pull this, I'm focusing straight on upper back. And that's gonna have a lot of tension that I need to make sure that I'm balanced with. So all I'm gonna do, rock it like this, like I'm gripping the rope. I'm gonna be pulling, and I have my elbows almost up to start, and those elbows are going to stay really high up the entire way through the motion. All this is going to do is, as I'm going past my body sideways, it's really going to emphasize that back delt on this side. So let me see if I can get it to fire properly. We'll get both out. But 2 cues I like to focus on with this is just think about elbows getting past my body, and then the second piece too, trying to squeeze my shoulder blades together. So I get the thickness of the back as well as the delts rocking. So I should be feeling both of those in this movement. Here, pull back, and then it's going about face height with the rope across to my ears. Notice how my thumbs are pointed straight towards my ears. I'm not down here, not way up here. I'm in this position. Pull straight back, and then you can see the activation of the rear delts as well as the back. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a couple more reps. And there. I did these this morning, so I'm already a little bit cooked. 2. Once again, slow on the eccentric. Build up that stretch, and then relatively fast on the way up once you get the form down.
Would you recommend people kind of go heavier, lighter with these, like higher rep range, lower rep range?
Personally, I like the heavy piece as long as your balance is okay. If you have to sacrifice, imagine I'm going really heavy and I'm getting pulled forward by the weight, or I'm not able to lean back on it, that's probably too heavy for you. But you can go light with it, high rep piece. It's all about this is such a small muscle that needs a lot of volume in order for it to grow. So as long as you're getting some sort of like feeling in there, mind muscle piece, while you're building it, heavy or not, it's gonna still have some sort of stimulus on there.
And for people who don't know, can you explain like the 3 different parts of the shoulder? Because some people just think it's all one thing.
100%. So we'll do the anatomy lesson real quick. So there's 3 delts on your shoulder. And basically for the first exercise we did shoulder press, which is a lot more in the front of our body. Usually if I'm leaning a bit more forward, I'm gonna use some of my chest, but because I'm straight up, I solely use this part of my delt. As you can see, it's just this strip right here. What that's responsible for is when I'm in this position, pushing up above my body, right there. Side delt is what we use for the sword draws, and that's right in the middle. We got our front, middle, and rear delt. And the side one is whenever I'm pulling something laterally away from my body, that one's gonna be the most activated. Front delt also helps, rear delt not so much, but that side delt is gonna be the master for that. And then the final one with this face pull, we got the rear delt as the main contributor as well as the back. So I think that's it on this end. Let me know what other muscles you want me to focus on. Shoulders are obviously the main one. I'm going to make a lot of videos about this because I'm most passionate about it. But I think that at least gave some kind of knowledge, some kind of gems to work with, and maybe we could talk about rep scheme really quickly.
Yeah.
So like, what I recommend, and like this could have been the science from like a couple of years ago, if you're new getting into the gym, I would recommend going 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. Just keep it as simple as possible. The new science is talking about this 2 sets to failure. For these types of exercises that are more accessory based, except for the shoulder press, I'd recommend going the 4 sets, 6 to 8. You're still gonna see some sort of growth regardless if you're young or older. I'm personally still doing that, 4 sets of 8. And as long as you progressively overload it properly, you should see some success with it.